Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. Man, I am so excited. Oh, wow. We finally got some good news. We got some good news going. Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen yet, Valve, the people who run Steam, they recently announced I think like three new gaming products, one of which is like a VR headset, but that's yeah, whatever. What I'm here to talk about is the new Steam machine, the next gen one. Oh my goodness, dude. This looks amazing to say the very least. A firm price hasn't been set yet, but according to the specs here, I'll get into that later because that's the nerdy stuff, but what I really want to touch on is the fact that this Steam machine, it's basically a console PC hybrid that's basically ready to play out of the box. I mean, of course, after you set up your Steam account and whatever, but this is extraordinary. And what I find to be the best part about this is the fact that Xbox, they actually have been on record saying that their ROG Xbox Ally, which is currently $1,000, they went on record saying that the next gen console is going to be quote very premium, very high end curated experience, which means the overwhelming odds are the next Xbox is going to cost anywhere from like $1,000 to $1,200. And one of the biggest things I want to bring up here is the fact that if the next Xbox is really going to be basically a PC and they're going to be selling it with the same PC price tag, are they still going to be charging players to pay monthly to play the games that they already own? Like, because if they're going to be pricing this thing at the exact same price tag as a normal PC, why would you ever buy an Xbox? You know, why wouldn't you just go to your local Best Buy or Micro Center and just buy a pre-built PC? I mean, really, what's stopping you? And although we don't know the price of the Steam machine, a lot of people are calling it the Gabe Cube. The guy who's kind of in charge of Steam, his name is Gabe. But as far as specs go, it has a custom AMD Zen 4 6C12T CPU, a semi-custom AMD RDNA 3 GPU, and it supports 4K gaming at 60 FPS with FSR. FSR, I believe, is like AMD's version of AI upscaling. And apparently, Valve described the Steam machine as 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck, which makes sense because the Steam Deck, if I remember correctly, was slightly more powerful than the Nintendo Switch. It comes with 16 gigabytes of DDR5 and 8 gigabytes of VRAM, GDDR6. Now, you see this is what caught my attention because in the big year of 2025, 16 gigabytes even of DDR5, that's I mean, if you plan on using this for gaming and just gaming, 16 gigabytes might be fine, but you know, thinking of the future with games like GTA 6 coming out soon, sometime next year, 16 gigabytes even of DDR5 simply may not be enough. Especially what's even more worrisome is the VRAM. 8 gigabytes of VRAM, even if it is GDDR6, that's simply not enough. I mean, even my 3060 I use right now, it has 12 gigabytes of VRAM. And when this card was released, a lot of people were like, "Oh, 12 gigabytes. That's why buy the 3060? Just buy the 3070." You know. But over time, my 3060 has actually become a lot more mainstream. A lot of people who aren't using the 4060 or the 5060 are usually using the 3060 because nowadays most AAA titles require above 8 gigabytes of VRAM. And at any given point, when I'm playing, games like Spider Man or uh, Dead by Daylight or Tarkov, any newer game made within like the last 10 years, I'm almost always using anywhere from 10 to 11 gigabytes of VRAM. I'm not sure what the specs are for the upcoming Xbox because Microsoft hasn't even announced it yet, but one can only speculate they're probably going to try and cut corners, at least in some areas. I mean, that's usually what Xbox and PlayStation are known for. That's what makes their consoles affordable. But I will say, if Steam can manage to make it so consumers can actually upgrade the Steam machine, if they could just take off like a simple panel and put in some new RAM, or maybe get some kind of external device that increases the VRAM amount, that would be amazing. And I genuinely don't believe Microsoft could come back from that. PlayStation is a whole nother story. They are refusing to change, and they're starting to become more greedy like Nintendo, and the fact that they're basically separating their console like it's some kind of Lego bricks and they're selling it piece by piece, which is ridiculous. And yeah, man, I really just wanted to make this video to talk about it because this is amazing news for. Oh, before I forget, they actually have two different models of the Steam machine. The one that has 512 gigabytes of storage and a 2 terabyte model. So I'm assuming the 512 gigabyte model will probably be like $100 less than the 2 terabyte, if I had to guess. But yeah, man, this is so amazing. It really is. And Steam could single handedly not only save the console market, but could also actually increase the quality of console gaming across the board for everybody. Because you have to remember, these companies, when corporations like Valve and Steam, they're literally the same thing, but when they actually give more power to the player and they actually aren't making people pay to literally get access to things they already own, like online multiplayer, these other corporations like Microsoft and Sony, they're not going to have any reason to deny their customers that ability, right? And what's going to happen, this is a prediction, but what's going to happen is Xbox, I'm assuming PlayStation would probably have much more of a problem with this, but I think Xbox they'll either lower the monthly payments by a lot because, customers are going to have to pay a buttload more money for the new Xbox, but what's probably going to happen is Steam will show up on the scene and you can port your Steam library, or you can just buy a bunch of new Steam games, which there are so many on sale constantly. But what's going to happen is PlayStation is probably going to be left in the dust. I mean, console exclusives are basically non-existent anymore. I mean, PC, we have console exclusives from both Xbox and PlayStation. Xbox is currently going through an evolution process of which I have no idea where that's going. They're probably just going to end up making PCs. I mean, realistically, if they do ever make another $500 or $600 console, it's probably not going to get much better than the Series X right now, which is current gen. And that's another thing too. PlayStation, they're in such hot water right now. When the Steam machine is released and the next gen Xbox are released, the prices of both of those machines are going to be much higher, and that's for good reason. They're much more powerful machines. But if PlayStation has nothing really new to add to the scene, and yet they're still going to raise the prices of their console, no one's going to buy them outside of the diehard fanboys. And in the end, I'm just really wanting to make a video. I was so excited about this when I first saw it. I immediately knew I got to make a video about this. This is such good news, man. I really do hope the Steam machine or the Gabe Cube, as some people have taken to calling it. I really do hope it does well. It deserves to. And if it does do well, console gaming will change forever in the most positive way ever. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you excited? I know I am. But regardless, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make friends, like, and subscribe for more. Peace. God bless.